a very warm welcome to thorough newspaper analysis for 10th of April, which is brought to you by LawSikho. Now, as far as the agenda for today is concerned, at the very outset, we are going to have a look at some of the important national and international news updates. This is going to be followed by two legal news updates for today. And at the very end, we have an important editorial to discuss, the title of which is Changes the NCF 2023 Draft Proposes in the School Education System. तो देखिए essentially NCF जो है it is National Curriculum Framework and this framework is the foundational stones जहाँ पे कि हमारी टेक्स्ट बुक्स हमारा entire syllabus and स्कूल का जो curriculum है वो decide होता है and recently 2021 सितंबर से लेके ये जो 2005 का फ्रेमवर्क इन प्लेस था उसमें कुछ चेंजेस जो है वो ड्राफ्ट करे जा रहे थे एंड ऑन थर्सडे द मिनिस्ट्री कंसर्न्ड इट रिलीज द प्री ड्राफ्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर फ्रेमवर्क in the public domain for feedback generally. Now with this, let's start with the TNA for today. So the first update is with respect to the death of the last surviving Nuremberg trial prosecutor who has died at the age of 103. The name of this particular person is Benjamin Ferencz. He was just 27 when he secured the conviction of Nazi officers for war crimes and for crimes against humanity. He later advocated for the establishment of an international court to prosecute war crimes, a goal that became a reality in the early 2000s. The next update is with respect to the decision to confer the International Prize for Statistics for this year on C.R. Rao, who is a prominent Indian-American mathematician and statistician. He is about to receive this particular prize, which is an equivalent to the Nobel Prize in the field for his monumental work 75 years ago that revolutionized statistical thinking. Now, the next update is with respect to the fifth tiger census. The fifth tiger census, which is an evaluation of tiger reserves in India, released by the Prime Minister of the country. It has estimated the number of big cats in the country at 3,000 plus. And if we have a comparison of this figure by the 2018 census, this particular number has arisen or it has marked an increase of 6.7%. As far as the first ever status assessment of this kind is concerned, it was conducted in the year 2006. Next update is with respect to Kerala's Periyar Tiger Reserve getting top ranking in management review. So the Periyar Tiger Reserve in Kerala, it is the best maintained of all tiger reserves in the country. This is as per the fifth cycle of management effectiveness evaluation, which was carried out by the center and it was released alongside the tiger census. The MEE score of this particular tiger reserve is 94.38%. Now the next update is in the segment of sports. So India's Priyanshu Rajawat, he has clinched the Orleans Masters Super 300 badminton tournament win over his Denmark counterpart in France. The 21-year-old, who was part of India team that won the 2020 Thomas Cup, he has reached the final without dropping a single game in his 4 matches. And this is the first Super 300 final for him. Now with this, we've come to the international segment, which has one update, which is with respect to the World Homeopathy Day. So the world is celebrating the World Homeopathy Day on 10th of April. And the day it marks the birth anniversary of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. He is regarded as the founder of homeopathy. With this, let's start with the legal update segment for today. The first update is coming from the High Court of Calcutta, which has ruled that once the court has disposed of a civil suit and marked the parties to arbitration in an application which is filed by it under Section 89 of the CPC and has appointed an arbitrator with written consent of both the parties, the suit cannot be revived. The name of this particular case is Bharat, Vanijya Eastern Private Limited versus the state of West Bengal. Now the next update is coming from the High Court of Kerala. It states that the High Court has held that police is not competent to register an offence under the provisions of Section 195A of the IPC, which provides for threatening any person to give false evidence. The penalty for that is provided here. So the court has said that an offence in this particular provision, it cannot be registered by the police and it has to be brought about by the court, which is competent enough to consider an offence in relation to false evidence. The name of this particular matter is Sunil versus State of Kerala. And with this, we've come to the editorial segment for today, the title of which is Changes that the National Curriculum Framework 2023 proposes in the school education system in India. Now, before we get into the various aspects of this particular topic, we're going to understand the why of this article. उसके बाद there are certain segments जिसमें हम इसकी discussion करेंगे. So the very outset, let's understand the why of this article. So see, on Thursday, the Ministry of Education released the pre-draft of the National Curriculum Framework for School Education, and उसका purpose ये था कि purpose of this particular release was to put this framework out in the public domain for the public at large to give its feedback. Following this, ये procedure follow होगा once the feedback is in. So the committee which is responsible for this framework drafting and other modalities of it is going to conduct a discussion within the committee, and then the draft is going to be finalized. As far as that committee is concerned, it is headed by the former ISRO chairperson K. Kasturi Rangan, and apart from him there are other 12 members also in the committee. Now let's understand कि NCF actually होता क्या है. See, NCF जो कि last time 2005 में revise हुआ था, ये essentially एक foundational या key document है जिसके basis पे हमारी स्कूल की text books prepare होती है. So the current set of NCERT books which is followed across the country, barring the changes that have been brought in the last few years, all of these textbooks are based on the 2005 NCF. The last round of revisions जो कि NCF में शुरू हुए थे, it started with September of 2021. Now let's understand broadly क्या क्या changes brought about हुए इस particular draft policy में या फिर draft में. So see, among the other changes that have been recommended, two major significant changes जो हमें देखने को मिल रहे हैं वो है with respect to the choice of subjects and exams for classes 9th to 12th. So as far as choice of subject is concerned, see, over 2 years in classes 9th and class 10th, students will have to study 16 courses जिनको 8 curricular areas में divide कर दिया. So between these 2 years, during these 2 years, which is class 9th and class 12th, a student is required to study 16 subjects falling into 8 categories. And वो 8 categories कौन सी humanities involving languages, mathematics and computing, vocational education, physical education, arts, social science, science and interdisciplinary areas. Now see, students will have to clear 8 board exams, each of which is going to assess their grasp of the courses they are learned in class 9th and 10th. So class 9th and 10th में जो भी courses, which is 16 in total, जो students को सिखाए जा रहे हैं, अब 8 boards exams are going to be conducted within these 2 years in order to assess how far the student has learned as far as these 16 areas are concerned. एंड अगर हम इस पूरे चेंजेस को करंट जो हमारे सिस्टम इन प्लेस है उसके साथ कंपेयर करें, सो ऑल ऑफ अस वुड वाउच फॉर द फैक्ट दैट देयर इज़ नो लिंक बिटवीन व्हाट इज taught in class 9th and 10th in terms of your exam, and students under most boards, they have at least 5 subjects to clear in class 10th. So there is a board exam which is conducted by the end of class 10th, and वो जो class 10th का जो syllabus है, the 5 major subjects and other added subjects that a student opts for, उन्हीं के respect में ये board exam is conducted as far as the current system is concerned. Now see, the committee has also recommended changes at the level of class 11th and 12th, including introduction of a semester system in your class 10th. And in terms of the subject, students now can pick 16 courses of their choice from 8 curricular areas. तो जो 8 curricular areas हमने पहले देखे हैं, उनमें से ही स्टूडेंट्स कैन चूज़ अ रेंज ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स. एंड अगर हम इस पूरी पॉलिसी का सब्जेक्ट की वेराइटी, वाइड रेंज ऑफ चॉइस देने का अगर पर्पस देखें तो इट इज़ that there should not be any hard separation among arts, humanities and sciences. And this is in stark contrast with the kind of system that we have today, जहाँ पे कि एक broad 3 categories हैं जहाँ within which we have to pick our subjects. Now let's understand, these were the changes in secondary and higher secondary. Now let's understand what are the changes that have been brought about in the primary level of education and in the middle school. So see, at the foundational level for children aged 3 to 8, जो कि who are enrolled in grades between preschool and class 2, a play-based system of teaching approach is going to be suggested. So the draft says that textbooks are to be used from class 1 itself only, and that most of the content, it should comprise toys, puzzles and manipulatives. तो इनका ये कहना है कि प्री स्कूल में तो टेक्स्ट बुक्स होंगी ही नहीं, एंड इट इज़ एंटायरली गोइंग टू बी प्रैक्टिकल लर्निंग बेस इन द सेंस दैट वी गोइंग टू मेक यूज़ ऑफ टॉयज, पजल्स एंड अदर visual learning so that students can be more activity driven they can have more activity driven sort of education. And later जो stages हैं जैसे कि from class third, fourth and fifth, children are to be introduced to textbooks on language and mathematics, but हम जो ये activity based learning है उसको भी retain करेंगे. So it is going to be a mix and amalgamation of both of these methods. Now let's understand जो middle school है जो 6th, 7th and 8th, उनमें क्या होगा कि middle school से हमारे पास natural and other social sciences are going to be introduced. अब हम बात करते हैं कि क्या इस ड्राफ्ट में किसी स्पेसिफिक सब्जेक्ट के रिस्पेक्ट में कोई चेंजेस बताए गए हैं. सो द आंसर टू दैट वुड बी नो. कोई स्पेसिफिक सब्जेक्ट के किसी डिटेल्ड करिकुलम को चेंजेस नहीं बताए गए. रैदर ब्रॉडली जो अप्रोच एक सब्जेक्ट के लिए फॉलो करना चाहिए वो कहीं ना कहीं किसी सब्जेक्ट के लिए बताया है. जैसे कि अगर हम मैथ्स की बात करें तो दिस पर्टिकुलर ड्राफ्ट सेज दैट मेनी स्टूडेंट्स दे हैव डेवलप्ड अ रियल फियर ऑफ इट. सो द सोल्यूशन द कमिटी सेज इट इज़ टू शिफ्ट towards play, activity, discovery and discussion based mode of learning. Now let's understand कि ये जो changes हैं वो कब से effect में आएंगे. The government recently announced that textbook based on the revised NCF, it will be taught in schools starting the academic year of 2024 to 2025. But a specific timeline on the implementation of the changes on your exams, assessment and subject design, it has not been made available as of yet. So with this, we've come to the end of today's TNA. In case you want to get access to the free study material and the TNA slides that were used in this particular video, I would encourage all of you to join our Telegram channel using the link in the description, or you may scan the barcode here. These are the point of contacts in case you want to get in touch with LawSikho. Now, before we end today's video, I would like to take a moment here to congratulate two of our students. One is Pallavi Mishra and Lakshmi Sharma. For both of them have given correct answer to the question that we asked in Saturday's TNA. And congratulations to the both of you and keep it up. Also, the question for today is, जैसे कि हमने पढ़ा था कि section 89 में there is a provision for reference to ADR mechanism by the court to settle your dispute via the ADR mechanism in a civil suit. Now my question is, which order of the CPC corresponds to this particular section and provides for the mechanism or the procedural aspects related to the substantive provision that section 89 is? Please put down your answers in the comment section, and thank you for watching today's TNA.